Oh my gosh. How did that person look at that child's face, that smile, and I'm sure that smile was on his face, and them to be able to take him like that. I mean, literally, point a gun at him and shoot him.
I think about that all the time.
You know, how...
Yeah, that's devilish.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't care if I was high or not. I don't know. He had a devil. He had a devil.
That's
the devil was in him. That is a lost spirit.
When I look at his picture, to me, it is so hard. It's hard. I still expect him to come to that front door. I do. Everyone talks about and uses the word closure when it gets resolved. But at the same token, it doesn't bring back our loved ones. So I'm not even sure closure is it. I think it's just making a connection with that person who did something like this to you, that took a loved one away from you. And why? You just want the question, why, to be answered.
A lot of thoughts go through my head, varying from anger to sadness, mostly reflecting more on what I'm missing out on. Sean was my only son, and my grandson. And I was just getting to the point where I was watching Sean relate to his son what I had taught him. So I won't have that no more. Or I won't hear his voice anymore, hearing him call for his mom or hearing him say dad. You know. And I have nothing to pass on. You know, it's like they actually robbed me of my son and the name.
Sean would have him packed in his car seat already. I said, "Oh, I assume you're taking the baby." He goes, "Yeah, I'm taking him." I said, "Oh, okay." What if I wanted to take him? No, but he went with Sean instead. He was definitely good. He did everything. He actually changed his first diaper. We Rochambeaued in the middle of the night. Who would get the baby in the middle of the night? But he was good. If he did half of everything, if not more than half.
So he actually was the first one that changed it?
Yeah, he changed the first.
You to the punch?
I changed the first 3 diapers actually. He went to work at 3 in the morning, came home, picked up the baby from 1 until I got home till 6, made dinner for us, and managed to go to boxing training and wake up again at 3. Yeah.
If he didn't have a babysitter.
Bring the baby to training.
Came one day with his friend AJ and told me he wanted to box. I said, "Well, you gotta bring your mom with you." So he went and got mom. So when he went and got her, I told him, "How you doing in school?" He says, "Messing up." I said, "Well, you can't be here then." I said, "You gotta straighten your grades up if you wanna be here." So he did that. He turned all his F to A's. And he started doing good. And next thing you know, I saw him boxing. He was just a heavy-handed person. He was hurting grown men at 15 years old. I mean, he had 14 fights with 7 knockouts.
The day that Sean and I spent our actual last day together, we went shopping with the baby to the outlets, and we were just having conversation about different types of things, you know, especially his future, because he was indicating that, you know, he was real concerned about having to provide for his family, you know, and getting a better job with benefits and the whole bit. And then I asked him about boxing, and he said, "Well, you know, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find time to do that." And I said, "Well, you may want to look at it as something you want to continue to keep your physical appearance up, but also to provide, you know, to volunteer to the kids, help Benny and help train the youth when they come in. I says, you know how helpful it was for you as you were growing up and when I took you over there, the issues that you were dealing with. And he said, yes. He nodded and he thought for quite a long time. And he goes, you know, Mom, I never quite thought of it that way. He goes, but you're absolutely right. He goes, that is something that I will consider doing. And I really just think that he would have been great, because he was great with the kids and being able to talk to them. And because his teenage years were difficult for him, I think, like most teenage boys, and he could talk to them and let them know where he was at that time.
On another note, and a disheartening note, the baby talked about the innocence of the baby, and yet here's the baby, a victim of a crime, a horrible crime like that. Somebody's got to stand up for the baby.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it couldn't have been better said than that. We do have to stand up for the baby. It's our responsibility. And I think that's what Benny's, you know, I mean, he really has been very committed to getting justice, getting an answer to this. Sean was a man of his word. And I feel if I don't do something, I'm letting my son down. It is my responsibility before I leave this world to get an answer to this. You know, I mean, I miss them. I miss them so terribly much. I mean, there's just not a day that goes by that he's not in my mind, or my grandson, that I don't envision him coming over and him being dropped off and having the opportunity of spending time with him like I do with my other grandchildren. It just angers me so much that I don't have that opportunity. That's been wiped away.
I still feel in my heart, and I think a lot of it is them telling us to do it for them.
I think when you ask the question, what would he do right now? And I think he would say, we have to get answers. And he goes, people have to step up to the plate and do the right thing.
One day, this nightmare, if you will be over. God's will. And perhaps it may be someone from your community that courageously gives you a piece of mind, if you will. What would you say to that person if they did that?
Thank you. Thank you and bless you. I would be eternally grateful. And as Monique says, you know, I hear my son speaking to me in my ear and saying, thank you, Mom.
It's so hard to express how thankful you would be. And there's just no words to explain how grateful we would be. It's just like Sarah, the first thing that comes to your mind is thank you, and it's so hard to explain how much it would mean to us, how grateful we would be, and how much we appreciate them, you know, stepping up to the plate and doing their part. It's so hard to just express how much gratitude we'd have towards that person.